Now let's prove that sine theta squared plus cosine theta squared equals 1. And to do that, we're going to need a right triangle. And so first, we're going to have to pick an angle. So it doesn't matter. We can take this angle or this angle. But I'm just going to take this angle. And let's say this is our theta. And let's say this is A, this is B, and this side is C. And we know that sine theta, so we know that sine is opposite over hypotenuse, and thus we can say that sine theta equals A over C. And just like that, we know that cosine theta, well, we know that cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, so we can write cosine theta equals B over C. And we also know that for any right triangle, a squared plus b squared equals c squared, where c is the hypotenuse. So out of these, we can say that, so we know that sine theta equals a over c. So this is just this equation. And if we square both sides, we get sine squared theta over a squared over c squared. And just like that, if we take this equation and if we do the same thing, if we square both sides, we get cosine squared theta equals b squared over c squared. And since we have to add them up, we're just going to add them up. So sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta. Well, let me do this in yellow. So we know that, well, this is cosine theta squared. And we know that sine squared theta equals a squared over c squared from here. And we have to add cosine squared theta to that. And we know that cosine theta squared is b squared over c squared. And let's write that down. So this is b squared over c squared. And so we see that the denominators are the same. So it stays the same. So c squared. So since the denominators are the same, we're just going to simply add the numerators. So we just say a squared plus b squared. And from here, from the Pythagorean theorem, we know that a squared plus b squared is c squared. And the denominator stays the same. And we know that c squared over c squared, it just cancels out, and we have 1. So just like that, we saw that sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta equals 1.